Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we are talking about Nia DaCosta's Candyman. That's Candyman 2021, the, not remake, but actually sequel to 1992's Candyman by Bernard Rose and Clive Barker. This one is actually co-written by Jordan Peele and produced by Jordan Peele, but is actually directed by Nia DaCosta, which is important for people to know because a lot of people think Jordan Peele directed this, and he did not.
Yeah, if you know anything about Jordan Peele's style, you're like, no, he did not direct this.
That being said, this movie is stylish as all fuck, and I freaking love it.
Oh, it's super good.
And I look forward to Nia DaCosta's next movie, The Marvels, which is going to be the Captain Marvel 2, but it's also going to include Miss Marvel and a bunch of other characters, and I'm excited about that.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
Because this movie fucking rocks. A couple warnings I want to put up front, though, if you are a big Candyman fan. Tony Todd is in the movie, but he's only in it for a small portion of it towards the end. So if you're only here for Tony Todd, then I guess see something else. I don't know what to tell you.
No. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Let's get stuck the fuck in.
Sure.
All right. We'll talk about Tony Todd stuff when we get to like spoilers.
Yeah.
Let's close to the end of the movie. Movie is fucking amazing.
It is.
The movie is fucking amazing. Nia DaCosta did a fucking love letter to the original Candyman.
Yeah, she really did. She and her co-writer Jordan Peele like really captured the essence of what Candyman is and managed to expand upon the mythology in ways I did not think of, but totally makes sense.
Oh yeah, it completely works.
Basically, like, without getting into spoilers of how they do it, I've always interpreted Candyman in the original Candyman as a manifestation of generational trauma caused by the systemic oppression in the United States.
Yeah.
So, specifically on two black people.
Yeah, that's why Bernard Rose chose to have it in Cabrini Green as opposed to, I think it was like in the original Forbidden, it was like in Southampton.
No, it was in Liverpool.
Liverpool, right.
The original Forbidden was set in England, in Liverpool, and it was about the class divide in Liverpool, where Clive Barker grew up.
Right.
When Bernard Rose decided to adapt it, he moved it to America, set it in Cabrini Green, and added a lot more of a racial component to the story.
Yeah. Because there's more of a class component to the first one, but in America, that's like, the race.
Racism is there in the original story, but the movie that Bernard Rose made really amplified it, and that's primarily because he set it in America and added the fact that Candyman in the original story, not in the original story, but in the original movie, is a former slave who becomes a painter and becomes a famous painter and then sleeps with a white woman and then essentially gets lynched for that. Yeah. And apparently Gomez is not too happy about that, which to be fair, that was fucked up.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
I feel bad for Candyman.
Yeah. No. Like that's why we love Candyman. We love that. We love that story. We're like, oh yeah, Candyman, fuck these people up. Yeah. Why do you gotta pay?
So in the original movie, Candyman is this urban legend that is passed around Cabrini Green, which was a housing project in Chicago, a publicly funded housing project that eventually got abandoned and then eventually demolished over time.
Yeah, it became such a but because of movies like Candyman, and it became infamous because everyone was like, wait, this is a real place?
Yeah.
Wait, it was shot on location? It looks like that? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, the thing about the place is that obviously someone from Chicago could explain it better than I can. I am a dude from San Francisco who is also white, so my ability to talk about this is very limited. But from what I understand, it was a public housing project in Chicago that was severely underfunded continuously.
Yeah, it's the slum.
And not managed, and was basically treated like a place to dump black people so they don't invade other neighborhoods.
Yep, that is exactly
it. You know, like it is the ultimate lie. Like, hey, we're going to make this fun. We're going to make these affordable houses for you, and we're going to put you in there, and it's going to be great or whatever. But basically, they only did that to segregate them over there and keep them away from the white people and the rich areas.
Yep.
And then, of course, as what happens with a lot of cities over time, they eventually gentrified that area, which for those of you who don't know what gentrification is, and that means you did not see my Vampires versus the Vlongs blog, in which I explained what gentrification is. That is where gentrification is where you start to pour money into an area and invite more wealthy people to live there while slowly pushing out the people that originally lived there because they can no longer afford to live there because the prices have been raised, and even like buying groceries becomes too expensive.
Yeah, that's why there's always a Whole Foods.
Exactly. Like, you're putting more and more upscale things so that the place gets cleaned up, but by cleaning it up, you've pushed out everyone that originally lived in the neighborhood.
Everyone's priced out. And then you have this big question. Well, where do they go?
To new slums that are created in other areas.
Slums that are created.
Or they become homeless and become like San Francisco's homeless problem.
Yeah.
Because San Francisco has dealt with this over and over again, and we have a recurring issue with it.
Yeah, people don't disappear just because you evict them.
Absolutely.
You know?
So Cabrini Green had that happen to it in real life. So as a result of that, this sequel to Candyman decided to address that situation head on and have it set in the gentrified area that Cabrini Green used to occupy. And the story kind of like unfolds as the old scab, the old wound that is Candyman, starts to get reopened when our main character starts to investigate this myth of this Candyman who appears if you say his name 5 times into a mirror. The story goes from there in really fucked up ways. If you saw the trailer for this movie, then you kind of know that it kind of has a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 kind of thing going on, where there's a lot of body horror and is the main character turning into Candyman thing. Yeah. We'll talk about that more in the spoilers, but that body horror in the trailer is 100% in this movie. It is...
I also want to bring up something because everyone saw the little shadow puppet teaser trailer. Okay. When that happens, you are going to be tempted to go like, yeah, I saw this part. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. The shadow puppet bit that's in the movie is different.
Yeah. There's a lot of little like important details to pay attention to. I also warn and recommend people, if you have not watched the first Candyman in a while, rewatch it before you see this one.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I say that is because this movie actually... It does a good job of recapping things for you from the previous movies, but it also plays with your memories of the first movies. And I don't think it would... I think some people got confused as a result of that, so I think watching the first movie will help alleviate that. Because I was reading some people's reviews of it, and it was very clear that, like, they either didn't remember what happened in the first movie well enough to understand what was happening in this movie, or... they didn't realize when the movie itself was fucking with them.
Yeah.
Because this movie does fuck with you. And so it's very important.
Here's a freebie because it happens real fucking early. Yeah. The story of the first movie at this point has become part of Candyman's myth.
Yeah. So, it is a legend in of itself now.
Helen is like part of the Candyman legend now.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if you were like me and you saw the first movie and then saw the sequels waiting for that to happen and it never happened, that is manifested in this movie.
Yeah.
So definitely look forward to that. This movie is visually amazing. Like, it is the best looking Candyman movie since the first movie. Not just because it's pretty pictures, but like the way DaCosta and her production team stage a lot of the scares in this movie.
Oh, they're real good.
Are truly unique. Like, there's some stuff that I've seen kind of done before, but not the way they do it in this.
I've never seen someone fucking brutally murdered in a pullback.
Oh, God, yeah. like the way they did that was fucking amazing. Yeah. I also love, like, the commentary of that when they do it. Like, I'll talk more about that when we get to the spoilers.
Man, so good.
Because, like, this movie has layers upon layers of shit going on, and I just...
Yeah, well, like, one of the things I can also say, and I think it's probably pretty safe to say this, part of this movie, DaCosta's Candyman, is about making the movie itself.
Yeah, to a certain extent. To a certain extent. There's some meta commentary there. It's actually subtle meta commentary. It's not like
it's not like Scream.
Not like Scream, no, but it is there. It is there 100%. Like there is a little bit of like, DaCosta predicting some things people will say about
the fucking movie.
Yeah,
you know.
And having read some of the reviews, she was not wrong.
Oh man, some of those reviews are ass. You know, I can't, like if you read a review and you were like, oh, this reviewer said that I shouldn't see the movie because no, fuck them. Stop. Go see the movie. You're fine.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Jesus fucking Christ.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to a goddamn critic. We're fucking critics and we don't listen to critics.
Yeah, this is my favorite Candyman sequel. And is probably...
what are you talking about? Candyman 3 is clearly the best one.
Candyman 3 is balls.
Oh, it's some bullshit.
I rewatched the first 3 Candyman movies before we went to see this, and it was a chore to get through the third one. The second one's actually not that bad. It's just a step down from the first one.
Yeah.
It's like you have like the masterpiece that is the first movie, and then you just have like kind of a decent horror movie.
Yeah. It's kind of
it's wonky in areas.
It's kind of the fucking like Friday. It's kind of like Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I mean. We're kind of just doing the numbers at this point, but I mean, it's not that bad.
You know, like I feel like this
not that great.
This movie does what Halloween 2018 did, where it just acknowledges the first movie and then ignores everything after that.
Yeah.
Which in this movie, it's a little less like, it's a little easier to digest in this movie than even it was for the Halloween movie because it's very easy to ignore those two Candyman
It's very
sequels.
easy to ignore like Farewell of the Flesh and fucking what
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead one with Donna D'Errico from Baywatch,
which is so bad.
Well, it's like the part of the problem with that third one is it's fucking shot like a Baywatch episode.
I'll tell you this right now. If you're one of those people that is kind of primed to hate this movie, go watch Day of the Dead before you see this movie, and you will think this movie's a masterpiece by comparison.
Yeah, you're just gonna be like, okay, you know. Fucking, we lived with that movie.
Oh, yeah.
We lived with that movie. That's all we had for the longest time.
All right, I'm not going to make the mistake that I knew I would make if I tried to do this by memory. So I'm going to look up the main actor's name, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. And I most likely mispronounced that, and I apologize. I'm kind of reading it phonetically because I've never actually heard it said.
That's a good point.
So I do not know how his name is said, but Yahya, who most of you know as Black Manta from the Aquaman movies.
Yeah.
He is fantastic in this movie. He plays this tortured artist he's tortured because he's kind of reached the sophomore slumps of his career. He put out some really great works really early on, and now he's found himself unsure of where to go next, and everyone has all these high expectations of him, but he's not sure if he can live up to it. And on top of that, he's kind of having writer's block, the equivalent of writer's block for art, for paintings and shit. And so he finds out about this whole Caprini Green gentrification thing, and he finds out about the Candyman myth and decides to try to create a piece that is inspired by that, but that sends him down this fucked up spiral, this fucked up rabbit hole that is Candyman, and he starts to lose his mind, much like Helen in the first movie.
Yeah.
And he does a really great job playing this character, and I loved him. He was just really good.
Oh yeah. Some of the really great one of the great metaphors of the movie is that early on he gets a bee sting on his hand.
Yeah.
And it keeps scabbing over and he keeps picking at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because he's picking at the wound.
Yeah.
The wound that is Candyman, the wound that is the generational trauma that Candyman represents. Which is not just slavery, even though that's there.
Oh, that's definitely part of it. Yeah.
But also the wound of gentrification, the wound of police brutality, the wound of redlining. All those wounds, Candyman in this movie grows to represent as this movie goes on, and he is just picking at that scab the entire time. So you get this really gnarly body horror as his arm gets more and more.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic. There's even a voice cameo by Virginia Madsen.
Virginia Madsen, yeah.
Which is pretty cool from the first movie, and that was really awesome. I just think that if you're a big fan of Candyman, and if you're a big fan of Candyman because you understand Candyman, and by understand Candyman, I mean you get all the layers of commentary within Candyman. You don't just like Candyman because Tony Todd kills people. Like, if you look at Candyman as more of a as not just like a slasher movie, but as a movie that's actually about something, then you're gonna like this movie because this movie expands upon that big time.
Oh yeah.
If you just want to see Candyman going on a killing spree, I would argue there's some great fucking kills in this movie that are really awesomely executed and are like unique as fuck. I can't stress that enough. Like, I've not seen some of these kills done this way before. Then you will enjoy that, but you might be bored by the rest of the movie. But at that point, I don't know why you're watching Candyman, but like, people are weird. I've seen some horror fans complain about that. I don't get it.
I don't need to listen to those opinions.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, man. Like, if you watch this movie, you're like, oh, this movie's fucking stupid. Like, motherfucker, you're stupid. Okay? Like, good fucking God.
I only have like very minor complaints, and they're super minor. Like, there's a backstory with the main character's girlfriend that I felt like they could have expanded upon a little bit.
Yeah. It was one of those. I'm glad it was. It's like, this needed to be here because it informs her. Yeah. Like, it lets you know what she's all about. But it felt like there was like a missing bit.
Well, because like usually when you have like these small subplots with side characters, it's brought up 3 times because that's usually satisfying. You know, like, you have like the initial introduction, you have the explanation, and you have like the punchline, right? The conclusion.
The resolution.
The resolution. Yeah. She doesn't really get that with that backstory, and I kind of would have just one more beat.
It felt like there was supposed to be something there.
Yeah.
You know.
My other real minor complaint. This is only after thinking about it a lot on the drive back, because we had to drive like 2 hours to go see the movie to find a screening that we could privately do with friends. My other minor complaint is that there's a transition into the final act, where we go from the main character talking to a specific character that reveals a whole bunch of shit about what actually is going on.
Yeah.
And then we transition into the final act where we kind of reveal some of the secondary antagonists and things like that. And the final act is amazing. And everything leading up to that point is amazing too. But it felt like there was like a beat missing that transitioned that character to that position.
Yeah, that's where it felt like 10 minutes got cut or something.
Like it's a little rushed. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing an extended cut of this movie if it exists.
Yeah. If there is anything DaCosta would have done that she didn't get to do, I would want to see it.
And so as a result of that transition there feels a little rushed. But I do want to stress that the ending itself doesn't feel rushed, just the transition into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like there is a point where we kind of we jump.
Yeah.
Because like the movie does this. The movie does. To be fair, I believe the original Candyman does this too. Mm-hmm. But, for example, like the actual Candyman in the first one, he doesn't appear until like well into the movie.
Yeah. You're good like 30-40 minutes before you see him, with the exception of the intro.
Yeah.
In the intro, when they first tell you the myth of Candyman, you see him briefly.
Right. Yeah, but then like before, it's just like, okay, we're following Bridget Madsen, she's interviewing all these people, and like we're setting everything up, and then she meets him in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know. And that, it's not till like 30-40 minutes in. This movie does something a little bit similar, because there are actually 2 protagonists happening at the same time as a switch.
Yeah.
You know, the movie at one point moves from the main male character to the main female character. And that's where that transition kind of, you get a little like...
Yeah, that transition's a little wonky, and I wonder if there's like a missing beat there that maybe...
Yeah, it feels like there probably is, just because of some of the other like some of the small dangling things in the film itself.
But I'll tell you this right now. Right now, this is like one of my favorite movies of the year. So that tells you how much this didn't actually bug me.
Oh no, it doesn't ruin the movie at all.
You know?
It doesn't ruin the movie at all. This is really, for me, it's really just me going like, if the studio made her cut something right there, I'll see you.
Yeah. Well, there's that. Is there a Midsummer director's cut?
Exactly.
Is there a Dr. Sleep director's cut?
Yes.
Because if there is, I totally want to see it.
Oh yeah.
Just to fill that little gap.
I didn't want this movie to end.
No, I didn't either.
You know?
I didn't either. I was fucking glued to my goddamn seat. But the way it ends is just fucking perfect. I fucking love that. All right, so we've said a lot, and I think it's time for us to transition into the spoilers so we can get into the meat of the movie, so to speak. Candyman is currently only available in theaters. If you're not in an area where you trust going to the theater, and if you're not vaccinated, then don't go to the theater. But even if you just wait to see it on demand when it hits that, definitely watch it. Yeah. Definitely watch it and support it because it is great. And I kind of hope, because the ending leaves open for it, that we get like sequels like the Halloween movie did.
Yeah.
I kind of hope. Like we'll see. We'll see. So check out Candyman for yourself. And with that said, let's move on to the spoilers.
Okay, so probably the biggest spoiler is that there is more than one Candyman.
Yes, this movie expands the Candyman mythology by talking about how Candyman isn't just one man who was wronged by the American system. It is all of them, or at least a lot of them. And that the Candyman that we know from the first movie was just the first one. And that in the years since, there have been other versions of the Candyman that have popped up. And this is kind of playing off the fact that urban legends evolve over time. And especially as they transition from one region to another, an urban legend takes on a slightly different slant.
Yeah.
When it goes from one to another.
Every Candyman has a different bee-related thing that they're about. Like the original, like Robital, the Tony Todd one, he's got his rib cage.
Yeah.
The other guy's got like the one eye that's been stung out, you know, and the main character has like this honeycomb that's growing over him.
And so this movie expands upon that and introduces another Candyman who also was at Caprini Green and was a guy who literally handed out candy to kids. And there were razor blades found in some kids' candy, so people blamed this guy for that. But then after the police showed up and killed this guy by beating him to death, it was found out that there were still razor blades showing up in candy, proving that he was innocent and someone else did it. So it was a man who was punished simply because he was black and interacting with white kids. That's...
Yeah. That's like the whole thing is it's basically every version of the Candyman is an innocent black man.
You know, so he was wronged by the system through police brutality and through wrongfully being accused. And he becomes he is another version of Candyman. And this is the version of
actually, no, there is a version of Candyman that isn't a black guy, which is Helen.
Yes.
Yeah. There is a great scene where you hear the legend of Helen from the first movie and how that has evolved. It's true. That was super cool.
It's true. And so, this is the version of Candyman that the main character in this is introduced to first. So it's the one he starts seeing at the beginning. Yeah. Because it's the one he knows. So that's the legend he knows. So that's the legend he's seeing, and that's the one he's kind of turning into. But like really at its core, spoilers, this movie is about him becoming the new Candyman. Yeah. The newest incarnation of it. This movie is about him becoming legend. This is I Am Legend, and he is the legend.
Yeah, he is becoming the legend.
You know, through his struggle.
He's got a new legend, and this legend has got a new twist.
You know, and like his whole twist is that he is the if you stare too long into darkness starts staring back. It plays very much on that idea.
Oh yeah.
That he is a relatively well-off black man who's living a relatively well-off life, but he starts digging into the history of Caprini Green and the trauma of the people that used to live there, and the people that some that still manage to cling on and stay.
Yeah.
And he starts staring into that darkness, and the trauma starts infecting him.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so like the trauma gets transitioned into him, and so he starts becoming the Candyman.
And then it turns out it was in him the entire time.
Yes.
It was always
because
there.
This is the biggest goddamn spoiler, and this is what makes it 100% a sequel to the last movie, as if the Helen thing didn't fucking clue you into that. He's the baby from the first movie.
Yep.
Now, if I said that, and you're like, there was a baby in the first movie? That's why I told you to rewatch the first movie.
Yeah, it means you didn't fucking watch the movie. Because that whole thing revolves around a missing baby.
There's this great fucking element of the movie to where he's constantly arguing with his wife about calling his mom. or his girlfriend, about calling his mom.
Yeah.
And she's just like, she wants you to talk to her, like, please talk to her, and he just keeps ignoring her phone calls and all that stuff. And at first you're just like, okay, so obviously he just has problems with his mom or whatever. What you don't realize is the reason why they're not introducing you to his mom yet is so that when they do introduce you to her, you're like, oh shit! It's the girl whose baby was stolen in the first movie. Yeah. Whose dog was killed.
Yeah.
When Helen beheaded her, although it was Candyman who beheaded the dog. But,
yeah.
You know? So it's that woman. And so you're like, oh shit. And that's when you start piecing together that, he's the kid that Candyman wanted with Helen at the end of the movie. And you weren't quite sure what the goal for that baby was going to be. And in this movie, you get to learn what that goal was. And that goal was, he's gonna be the new Candyman. He's gonna be the new incarnation. He's the next generation of Candyman.
This time, there's a difference.
Yeah. And the big difference is that his incarnation of Candyman is evolving to being a more vengeful one.
Yeah.
Because the original Candyman was very much a manifestation of the trauma, so it affected the black people as well as the white people equally, pretty much. This one is more of the spirit of vengeance.
Yeah, this is the Candyman you call in to come in and fucking kill the cops.
He's the Candyman that's reclaiming the trauma and turning it into a weapon.
Yeah.
You know, and there's this great moment towards the end of the movie in which his girlfriend is, because basically this all leads up to a point in which the cops come in and wrongfully kill him. And so when his girlfriend is caught, they start to probe her, going you're gonna say that he had a weapon on him, right?
Yeah. You're gonna go along with the official
because
story,
it would be a real shame if you went down as an accomplice with him after he attacked us. Blah blah blah. He didn't attack them, by the way. He was actually just laying on the ground.
Yeah. It was one of those comically wasn't doing anything.
So she ends up summoning Candyman, which he becomes, and he ends up killing the cops.
Yeah, she says Candyman 5 times. The guy rises and then just starts killing dudes.
And then basically leaves her to tell the legend, to tell the myth, to tell his story, so that this incarnation of Candyman will be the next one going forward.
Yeah. So now when you summon Candyman, something different happens.
Yeah. There's also some really cool new ways they present Candyman in this movie. They play a lot with reflections and mirrors.
Yeah.
Partially because there is that element of staring into the mirror, staring into the darkness.
Yeah. Oh, did you notice? I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
But did you notice that the opening is the same shot from the original Candyman, but from the ground up?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a reflection of the original movie.
Yes.
It's a reflection of the original movie. God damn it. They go so hard with reflections that even the company logos at the beginning are backwards.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, man.
But you get these really cool moments where Candyman is appearing in reflections, but you can't see him in the present.
Yeah.
Which leads to some really cool and really trippy looking fucking kills. And there's also a really great moment where the bees are on the other side of the glass.
Yeah.
It's really trippy. Yeah. But it's also very, very good because, and the reason why the reflections are important in this one, it was always there in the Candyman legend, but the reason why in this one it's emphasized even more is because the main character is turning into Candyman. So he's staring into the mirror, and the mirror is staring back, and so he is it, he's the reflection, and it's just really fucking well done,
it's super good.
For all the things that we were talking about earlier, that minor clunky transition and that one detail with the girlfriend wanting that expanded, everything else is so well done it makes up for any flaw.
Oh yeah. one thing that one comment that one critic had, which pissed me the fuck off, was the accusation of there's too much Jordan Peele, not enough Nina DaCosta.
I disagree.
I disagree because I'm if you think that is true for a fucking minute, then you don't even know Jordan Peele's fucking goddamn filmmaking, let alone Nina DaCosta's.
You can see Jordan Peele's touch in the writing.
It's here and there.
In the way the story is visually told, it felt like a different voice than Jordan Peele.
Well, yeah, because there's not a joke every 10 minutes.
Yeah, that too.
In every Jordan Peele thing, there's a fucking laugh every 10 minutes because that's what his movies are like.
Yeah.
This one is just completely sober.
I mean, there are some funny moments.
Oh yeah, they're funny
some
moments.
Some of the exchanges.
But it's not like, but they're not like in a Jordan Peele movie.
No, it's not presented like a Jordan Peele movie. Like Nia DaCosta, I do not know exactly what her style is because I've only seen this one movie.
Right.
But I can tell it's a different style than Peele's because I've seen 2 Peele movies.
Yeah.
And I've seen some stuff that Peele's done, like produced that felt like him.
Oh yeah, Lovecraft Country is an example. You know, like that, that totally felt like Jordan Peele.
Even though they were directed by other people, I've seen some stuff that felt like him. This one felt like a different voice.
Yeah, definitely. And
but had his touches.
Yeah. But I mean, like the other, like I said, like how I'm mad because I'm like, wait, you accused someone of just essentially aping Peele's style, but didn't recognize that the director was deliberately doing Bernard Rose's style?
They basically pulled a Tobe Hooper on them. You know how like a lot of people try to take away Tobe Hooper's accomplishments on Poltergeist by saying it was all Spielberg?
Oh yeah.
That's basically what they pulled. Some people are pulling here.
Yeah, which is fucked up.
There's so many cool details in this movie though. Like the little there's so many small moments where it's just a normal conversation and Candyman's like standing there in a reflection in the background.
Yeah.
And it's like really creepy when you notice it.
Well, they also do that cool thing where there are mirrors where they logically would be, but you find yourself going, wait, I'm looking into a mirror, looking into a mirror, looking into a mirror. Yeah. And sometimes Candyman will be like 3 reflections deep.
Yeah. He's always there just trying to make his way to the surface.
Yeah.
This movie's bloody as all fuck too. Like, there's some fucking gnarly death. There's fucking actual teenagers that are like 13 that are slaughtered in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, it's fucking brutal. This movie does not shy away from killing kids.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I also love just like all like the layers of like metaphor and meaning and stuff like that because this movie emphasizes, how the first movie kind of emphasized sweets to the sweet, and a couple other key phrases to Candyman. This one emphasizes say my name.
Say my name, yeah.
Which in this movie very much evokes a similar feeling to the hashtags, the BLM hashtags, say her name or say his name.
Yeah.
Say her name, Breanna Taylor.
Yeah.
It very much evokes that feeling. And like post all these shooting incidents, like the say my name stuff hits different.
Yeah.
Like it hits on a deeper level, and so I really liked all that stuff. There's like some of the cool visual metaphors she does. Like, okay, so we talked earlier about the shot where it like pulls back. So like there's like a person in their apartment and it pulls back while Candyman, who's invisible by the way, is slaughtering her and her blood smearing all over the fucking
window
glass.
And shit.
And you're watching her float around while Candyman's gutting her.
Yeah.
And you're watching it slowly pull back and all that stuff, which is a great fucking metaphor because it like shows you this little small apartment amongst all these apartments and all that stuff. And it points out that this one small apartment with this one white woman being slaughtered, and then it slowly pulls out, and then as you pull out and you get a full glimpse of how small that apartment is or whatever, you hear the police sirens.
Yeah.
Because the police are called immediately when the white girl is hurt.
Yep.
It's like a really great fucking like it's like these little fucking details are just so fucking well constructed that I was getting a cinema boner when I was watching this movie.
So fucking good. So fucking
like
good.
She managed to capture the kind of like layers of meaning that you have in like an A24 film while still making a very fun blockbuster horror movie.
Oh yeah.
She managed to balance that line between them very much like a Spielberg does. Just like that's great. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, one of my favorite details. It's literally the last part of the movie. Which is once the story is over, story ain't over because the credits start rolling, but as the credits are rolling, the shadow puppet thing that some of which we've seen before starts playing, but it keeps going after the point that we've seen it.
Yeah. So Shadow Puppet's the movie itself, and then it goes beyond the movie.
Beyond the movie, yeah. And what you're watching is every Candyman that has been mentioned in the fictional movie. Because they mentioned a couple. The show mentioned a couple that weren't just the two we're mainly dealing with, Tony Todd and the. Yeah. They're like I think they named like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But what happens is they also hook that into a lot of stories of black people who were unfairly lynched.
Yeah.
You know, so the shadow thing does that, goes through their murder, like, you know, and like all the ones that aren't directly related to the movie are real.
Yeah.
They're real. They really happened.
Yeah.
But the part of the puppet show that continues is they all become Candyman and Rise.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want to see, you're like, yeah, Emmett Till, I want to see you fucking get some revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. It's little Emmett Till with a hook hand, fucking killing dudes.
It's very much a reclaiming of Candyman, of not just the generational trauma, but a reclaiming of the trauma itself, and now turning it upon the oppressor.
Exactly. You know, it's like, oh, fuck me? Oh, no, my friend. Fuck you.
And it's very satisfying to see Candyman kill a whole bunch of abusive cops at the end of the movie. Especially the cool way they filmed it, where his like head is like a fucking beehive.
Oh,
like, instead of just his chest, it's his whole head.
Yeah.
And you even get to see him turn into Tony Todd for a moment and give the final lines of the movie that kind of sum everything up.
Yeah. And like right before he turns into Tony Todd, like every time he walks by a mirror, it's one of the Candymen.
Yep.
You know,
like the reflection on the car or the mirror, like it's because he represents all of them. There's this great line where it's just like he's not just Candyman. The Candyman is not just one guy; it's the whole hive.
Yeah.
You know, which actually expands the bee metaphor too.
Yes.
You know, like the bee metaphor has always been there from the first movie, but this kind of gave it a deeper meaning.
Yeah. Took that metaphor and made it deeper.
Yep. And I fucking
because you're like, oh god, every little individual bee is an individual innocent black man who was killed.
Yep. And the reason why they swarm now is because the way cops swarm people.
Yeah.
So it's like vengeance. It's turning it back on them.
Yep.
You know. It's oh man, this movie's so good.
Oh, it is.
I also really liked the elements of the main character's struggles as an artist, and how his race, how he keeps getting shit on because of his racial element, but it's always presented like it's not his racial element.
Yes.
That one line about well, you people are guilty of this gentrification, and it's just like what do you mean by you people? And it's like, artists, and you're like, she didn't mean artists.
Yeah. Fuck you.
She did not mean artists. She was doing the black people are to blame for black people's problems.
Yes.
That's what she was doing, but then she's like fucking skirted away with her fucking artist comment. And then you also have him dealing with the struggle of being a black artist trying to create works that both speak to black people as well as make other people understand the plight of black people, and dealing with the criticisms from both end of that, which kind of predicted the response this movie was going to get, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, I also like the art piece that the guy makes. The first art piece that the guy makes is actually oh god, I don't know what you would call it. It's an art installation that is basically an encapsulation of the first Candyman movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mirror. It just looks like a mirror until you open it. But when you open it, on the inside is all this like, you know, trippy, fucking weird, violent graffiti.
Yeah.
You know, but that's lit like it is in the first movie.
It's really kind of funny because some of the criticisms he gets, like, oh, it's too traumatic, or oh, it's too too obvious, or it's too pedestrian, or whatever. I've seen those same comments applied to this movie. So it's like DaCosta was predicting her own criticism.
No, she knew. She fucking knew. You know, come on.
It's like, damn, like she pegged it.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
You know, she and Peele writing that script. They do.
You're the mother.
Well, you know what? To be fair to Peele, like I don't know how much of that part of the script was her or Peele, but to be fair to Peele, he's experienced that with the releases of his own movies, those same kind of criticisms. So it probably wasn't too hard to channel that into this little artist.
That is some easy shit to do.
Now I should stress that, like, even though we're ragging on some criticisms we heard of the movie, most critics I've seen have actually been pretty positive about the movie. I think it has like an 88% on
Yeah.
Like, there's a pretty good rating for a horror movie. Some of my favorite horror movies have like 40% on there.
Yeah.
So 88% or even just 80 is like great for a horror movie.
It's super good. You know, I mean, there's just some ones that like stand out and you're just like, oh my fucking god, fuck.
Well, some are really insulting.
Oh yeah.
You know, some like I hate it. Like some critics like really. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Some are just really super fucking silly. You know,
but anyway,
not worth re-mentioning.
I really love Candyman. I know there are details that I remember talking about, but I'm now forgetting a bunch of them because we've been talking about this movie for fucking hours.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what we talked about in the vlog and what we talked about in the car.
Oh, geez. Yeah. No, movie's super good. Movie's really good that way. Go fucking see it.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I know there's all like COVID and shit, but I want you to know, keep this. Do what you have to do.
Yeah. If you can't see it, if you can't see it with COVID, see it when it hits demand immediately.
Immediately.
It is a must watch.
Yeah. Like this thing's already like COVID blockbuster.
Yeah. You know, just make sure you watch the first movie close to when you watch it so that you have that fresh in your memory, and know that Tony Todd doesn't show up till the end of the movie, and just be prepared for that. You know, because I know that there's some people that are like, oh, they're expecting him to be Candyman the entire time, and it would have been cool if he was.
Oh,
like, to be fair, it would have been cool, and I would have been down with that. But this movie is so good, don't let just loving Tony Todd get in the way of you enjoying this. It's kind of like people who hate the Evil Dead remake because Bruce Campbell
doesn't show up.
Even though it's a good movie on its own right, it just doesn't have Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, it's like, well,
this
I mean, I would have liked the Bruce Campbell cameo, but the movie didn't need it.
Yeah.
You know?
This movie actually does have Tony Todd. It's just at the end, though.
Yeah.
And it ties it into the Tony Todd story in such a great way.
It does.
Anyway, go see Candyman. Watch it the way you can. And with that said, where can they find you, Camp Jack?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Counting Jack. You can also find me on Instagram at Satanic Jack, and every Thursday and Sunday I stream on twitch.tv count_Jackula at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we tend to go very, very, very long, so I hope I will see you there one of these nights.
And y'all know me on The Horror Guru. You can find me at The Horror Guru on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, and Instagram. Just look up The Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I should be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to put hashtag say my name. Hashtag say my name if you made it this far into the vlog so that I know you watched this vlog all the way through. Put it in the comment below. I don't know if I actually said that. Like, put the hashtag in the comments below so that I know you watched this vlog all the way through. For some reason, I always mess that up in this weird, like, it's like dyslexia in my brain.
Yeah. It happens.
And to close this thing out, I wanna just highlight a really awesome, like, really good line from this movie that, like, I think kind of highlights some of the things this movie is trying to say in a really great way. And that's the line, they like what we make. But they don't like us.
Yeah.
You know, which is just, damn.
Love what we make. They just don't love us.
You know,
ow.
And you're just like, damn, if that doesn't speak the truth there sometimes. You know, and to be fair, that is a very similar comment to what Peele, message to what Peele said in Get Out.
Get Out.
There's a little bit of that there too. So peace out, my fellow gorehounds, and catch y'all later.